So let me tell you the power of teaching and education. And this is why I make sure to go over everything with my patients. If you remember from a previous post, I told you that I always educate my patients. I always tell them what I'm looking for. Not so that they can do my job, but just so that they understand what my job is. And part of that is electronic fetal monitoring, which is a big, heavy chunk of what we do in labor and delivery. So the way I explained it to my patient, she was a young woman, and I told her, I said, we like the heart rate between 110 and 160. Your baby should always sound like a galloping horse, just like it does now, right? So I gave her the information and then I made it relatable to her. I said, if it slows down and it sounds like your baby is trying to lift their feet out of cement and just trudging along and it's slow, I said, you need to call me. And so what most people don't know is that with the external fetal monitor, it's a great tool. We rely on it heavily, but it's not always super accurate because sometimes you can be in the room and see a normal fetal heart rate, but you can hear an arrhythmia or a funky heartbeat or a deceleration, but it doesn't quite pick up on the tracing. So I was in another patient's room. My patient calls me to the room and was like, it went down, I heard it. And I was like, okay, bet. I was like looking at the tracing, like, well, I don't see where it went down, but I believe you because, I taught her. Of course, the girlies are gonna know, they're gonna be well informed when I'm their nurse, right? And so I was like, okay, bet, call me back if it happens again. So I couldn't even turn around and leave the room before that baby's heart rate went. And I was like, oh my gosh. And, we flipped her over, gave her oxygen, gave her a fluid bolus and all of the things. But I was so proud of her. And that's how I knew that what I was doing was effective in communicating with every patient. No matter who the patient is, I give them the information. I always teach my nursing students too, like, you don't get to decide who's capable of learning, right? Like, your job is to explain it in a way that they can understand it. And you do that with every single patient, right? You don't get to determine and stereotype or discriminate against who you think is capable of receiving and understanding information. So I think these things are so important so that mom can know what's happening to her. Even if I have to do debrief with her, she knows in the moment that we're doing something because of something that has happened or transpired, right? And Rini will come back to me later and debrief everything. But I think it's so important that you make sure you give the information to your patients because then they're able to be a better historian of their particular care and what happened when it's time for them to come back for their second, third, fourth baby. All right, so guys, grab my free guide, link is in the bio. And if you are in the DMV, there is an expo coming up on Sunday, the 19th. It is the Babies and Bump Expo. It's amazing. I went to it last year in Philadelphia and this is their first year in the DMV. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. I love it and I highly encourage you to come. And if you're interested in coming, I might be able to give you a free code to get in. So hit me up and let me know.